In the year 1543, a child was born in the small province of Mikawa, a region that would soon find itself at the heart of a tumultuous era in Japan's history. This child was Tokugawa Ieyasu, a name that would one day resonate through the annals of time, synonymous with power, strategy, and the unification of a fractured nation. Ieyasu's early years were marked by the chaos of the Sengoku period, a time when Japan was a patchwork of warring states, each vying for control and dominance. The landscape of his youth was shaped by the relentless conflict that defined this age, but it was also a crucible that would forge his remarkable destiny. Ieyasu was born to a minor samurai family, the Matsudaira clan, and his childhood was defined by the precariousness of his family's position. At the tender age of 5, he was taken hostage by a rival clan, the Imagawa, as a means of securing peace between the two factions. This experience would leave an indelible mark on him, teaching him the harsh realities of power and the importance of alliances. He spent nearly a decade in the Imagawa court, where he was educated in the arts of war and governance. This formative period not only honed his skills, but also ingrained in him a deep understanding of the political machinations that would serve him well in later years. By the time he returned to Mikawa, Ieyasu was no longer the naive boy who had been taken hostage. He had transformed into a shrewd and calculating young man, ready to carve out his own place in the tumultuous landscape of Japan. In 1560, a pivotal moment occurred that would alter the course of his life forever. The Battle of Okehazama unfolded, where the ambitious warlord Oda Nobunaga launched a surprise attack against the much larger forces of the Imagawa clan. Against all odds, Nobunaga emerged victorious, and Ieyasu saw an opportunity. He quickly aligned himself with Nobunaga, recognizing that his strength could be the key to his own ambitions. The alliance with Nobunaga proved fruitful, as Ieyasu began to expand his power and influence. He was appointed as the governor of several territories, and his reputation as a capable leader grew. However, the political landscape was ever shifting, and alliances were often as fragile as they were essential. When Nobunaga was betrayed and assassinated in 1582, Ieyasu found himself at a crossroads. Rather than succumb to despair, he seized the moment, consolidating his power and positioning himself as a key player in the ensuing struggle for dominance. The following years were characterized by a series of battles and strategic maneuvers that would define Ieyasu's legacy. The most significant of these was the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, a clash that would determine the future of Japan. Ieyasu faced off against a coalition of rival warlords, each vying for control in the aftermath of Nobunaga's death. The stakes were high and the outcome uncertain. Ieyasu's strategic brilliance shone through as he meticulously planned his approach, leveraging both military tactics and psychological warfare to outmaneuver his opponents. On the day of the battle, the tension was palpable. Ieyasu had gathered an army of loyal samurai, but he also understood that victory would require more than just brute force. He had spent years cultivating relationships and securing alliances, ensuring that he had the support of key factions. As the battle unfolded, Ieyasu's forces initially faced setbacks, but he remained calm and resolute. The turning point came when he received unexpected reinforcements from a former enemy, a testament to his skill in diplomacy and persuasion. With this newfound strength, Ieyasu rallied his troops and launched a decisive counterattack, ultimately emerging victorious. The victory at Sekigahara marked the beginning of a new era in Japan. Ieyasu was now positioned as the preeminent power in the land, and in 1603 he was appointed shogun, the military ruler of Japan. This was a moment of triumph, but it was also the beginning of a monumental responsibility. Ieyasu understood that the true challenge lay not just in winning battles, but in maintaining peace and stability in a country that had known centuries of strife. He set about implementing a series of reforms aimed at consolidating his power and establishing a framework for governance that would endure. One of Ieyasu's most significant contributions was the establishment of the Tokugawa shogunate, a feudal system that would govern Japan for over 250 years. He instituted a strict class hierarchy, with samurai at the top, followed by farmers, artisans, and merchants. This structure not only provided stability, but also reinforced loyalty among the samurai, who were bound to serve their lords in exchange for land and protection. Ieyasu also recognized the importance of economic prosperity and initiated policies that encouraged agricultural production and trade. Under his leadership, Japan experienced a period of relative peace, known as the Pax Tokugawa, allowing culture and the arts to flourish. However, Ieyasu was not merely a ruler who sought to maintain the status quo. He was a visionary who understood the importance of adaptability in governance. He implemented a series of policies aimed at controlling the powerful daimyo, the feudal lords who governed the provinces. One of the most notable strategies was the Sankin Kotai system, which required daimyo to spend alternating years in the capital, Edo, and their own domains. This not only ensured their loyalty, but also allowed Ieyasu to keep a close watch on their activities, effectively curbing any potential rebellion. As Ieyasu solidified his power, he also turned his attention to foreign relations. The arrival of European traders and missionaries posed both opportunities and challenges. Ieyasu recognized the potential for trade to enrich Japan, but was wary of the influence of Christianity, which he viewed as a threat to the traditional social order. He implemented policies that restricted the spread of Christianity and limited foreign influence, laying the groundwork for Japan's eventual isolationist policies in the years to come. Despite his formidable reputation, Ieyasu was not without his personal struggles. He faced the loss of loved ones, including his first wife and several of his children, which deeply affected him. His relationship with his son, Hidetada, was particularly complex. Ieyasu had high expectations for Hidetada, hoping that he would carry on the legacy of the Tokugawa shogunate. However, the pressures of leadership weighed heavily on Hidetada, and their relationship was often strained. Ieyasu's desire for control extended even to his family, as he sought to ensure that his vision for Japan would endure long after his death. As the years passed, Ieyasu began to contemplate his legacy. He understood that the foundation he had built needed to be fortified to withstand the test of time. In 1614, he issued an edict banning Christianity, solidifying his stance against foreign influence and reinforcing the traditional values of Japanese society. This decision would have lasting repercussions, leading to the persecution of Christians and the eventual isolation of Japan from the outside world. In 1616, after a long and impactful life, Tokugawa Ieyasu passed away. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lived on through the Tokugawa shogunate, which would govern Japan for generations. Ieyasu's vision of a unified and stable Japan became a reality, and the principles he established would shape the nation's culture, politics, and society for centuries to come. The story of Tokugawa Ieyasu is one of resilience, strategy, and the relentless pursuit of power in a world fraught with chaos. From his humble beginnings as a hostage to his rise as the shogun of Japan, Ieyasu's life is a testament to the complexities of leadership and the delicate balance between strength and diplomacy. His legacy endures not only in the political structures he established, but also in the cultural renaissance that flourished under the Tokugawa shogunate. The peace and stability he achieved would allow Japan to develop a unique identity, one that would eventually emerge from isolation to engage with the world once more. Ieyasu's journey reminds us that history is often shaped by the choices of individuals who dare to dream of a better future, even amidst the darkest of times.